Alrighty, what is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking off the AFC housing and the 96 12 valve and doing some tuning. We're also going to be doing some mods to all of there and fixing a few problems that I have now. So previous owner of this truck basically maxed out the star wheels, so I had as much black smoke as possible, you know, rolling coal everywhere, which, you know, there's a gray area I like to operate. Yeah, it's nice to, you know, have that ability, but at the same time, that's wasted fuel. So we're going to adjust it for a happy medium here. We're going to try to go for the best efficiency possible while still having fun. So today, we're going to take that off. We're going to do the washers and the AFC arm 2mm plate cutoff mod. And I'm also planning on setting everything basically to 0, or resetting everything, and then working my way up on tuning for the most amount of power I can get out of the trunk, or what feels like the most amount of power. I'm going to be doing it by feel, so it's not going to be perfect. Also going to be replacing the bolts, like the non-tamper screws and everything, with actual bolts. And yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today if you would like to watch. Also going to be starting, after I get this done, going to be taking the dash apart because I need to do my blower motor and my AC evap in the truck. So going to be taking the dash apart today. I'm also going to replace the heater core while I'm there, just because I'm already there. Might as well replace all 3 and be done with it. So I'll be making another video on that if you want to stay tuned to the channel for that later. Because I'm going to be doing that this weekend as well, so that video will be coming out probably Sunday night on for you guys if you want to see the evap and the blower motor and the heater core changed out. And then I'm gonna have to take it to a dealer to get it charged, because I believe these systems are R12 R13 for refrigerant, but that's a different thing than what we're going to be doing right now. So let's go ahead and get started taking this off and go from there. Alright, so for y'all to take this off, you'll need an 8mm socket, ratchet set, right, for these 2 bottom bolts right here, and then you'll need a big flat head for the 2 that are on the top here, and then you'll need a 1/2 inch or a 13 wrench to take off this vacuum line, and then you'll be able to just move this whole thing. Be wary. There is a solenoid here for the throttle that when you go to take these 2 bolts out, that this actually mounts on, that has a spring that connects to an arm. You want to be careful of that. You don't want to mess any of that up, because you're going to need to put that back on, right? So we are going to be careful about that, so just watch out when you take these bottom 2 out. For that, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that first, move it slightly out of the way, do the top 2, and then I'm going to do the vacuum line. But those are the only parts you actually have to take off of your AFC, or the only things you need to take off your AFC, sorry. And then you just have to basically slide it out and do whatever you need to do to it.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders like.
Alrighty, y'all, so we got that off, right? So see how this plate right here? This is a fuel plate, right? Now if you have a stock fuel plate, there's gonna be this arm on the underside of it that helps control the amount of fuel, blah blah blah. But a lot of people like to do the zero fuel plate mod, which is essentially they just grind that completely off. So another thing you can do is literally just take the fuel plate out and keep it out. You don't have to have this fuel plate in there. It's not like a requirement. It if you're gonna do the zero fuel plate mod, I recommend just taking it out. I mean, I've never ran one in any of my other trucks, so we're just gonna take it out and leave it at that, and then put the AFC back on, and then have to do some tuning. But like I said, the zero fuel plate mod is literally just grinding this arm off that's down here that some people have on their trucks, and I'm telling you right now, it is literally the exact same thing as taking the fuel plate off. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that and go from there. All right, so we've got the fuel plate out. We don't have a workbench in the garage, so this is what we're gonna make do with for now. But this is your AFC, right? Probably. All right. So this is your AFC housing. Okay. This arm is pretty important. All right, but that's the same arm that we're gonna shave. Actually, it's already been shaved right here. So this arm's been shaved off by 2 millimeters already. Interesting. So I guess we'll find out and see what else has been done to this when we pop this open and take it apart, see if the two washers have been swapped out. If they have been, then I guess we won't have to worry about this so much, besides just resetting it, and because they've even already adjusted it back here, which if y'all didn't know, that's an adjustment. But we'll see what entails once we get further inside of this thing, because I'm pretty surprised about that, to be honest with you. So yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so upon further inspection, this is the AFC arm, right? Well, this is the side you'd be grinding your 2 millimeters off of, and if you can already tell, they actually already did it, and which surprised me a ton. This is actually what looks to be, I can't tell if it's stock or not, but it looks and feels pretty, I don't know, I want to say it's aftermarket, because they also went ahead and replaced or cut the parts off the back half of the washer here. So they cut all this off. So basically they already completely modded, or did the 2 mods that you can do to an AFC to get more play. And what I mean by more play is this, right? When you have it in here, right, it goes in here like this, so it'll sit in here like so. But then as pressure builds, right, until you take those extra 2 mils off, it hits the back here, so it'll be hitting back here, and you won't get as much extra fueling out of it because it's bottoming out basically. So that's why you take the extra 2 mils off, because when it starts out here, you're giving a throttle, bam, max fuel. You now get that extra 2 millimeters, which ends up being like 10% or whatever more fuel. Whatever the percentage may be more fuel. It might not be 10%, it might be more than that, I don't know. So at the end of the day, you wanted that to be done, or you want that to be done so you can have more fueling capabilities, right? But that's already been done, so I don't even have to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it up, I'm going to put it back together, and I'm actually going to adjust the star screw, which is right here, and the smoke screw, which is this screw, smoke screw. It basically is just your pre-boost fuel. So adjusting this all the way out might, like if you adjust it to the point where, you know, you're having no pre-fuel, or like your screw all the way out to where this isn't in at all, it might start hard because it's not having any initial pre-boost or fuel pre-boost. So this is gonna like determine what spools your turbo faster or not, is how much this is turned in and how much pressure is going to be allowed to come through. Yeah, so that's basically all you can do there. So that's what that does. It controls your pre-fueling before boost. And then your star screw controls the I can't remember what it's called all of a sudden, but it controls this boot, right? So when the spring comes in, it pushes this in, right? Or when there's pressure on this side, when boost is coming in and putting pressure here, it's moving the arm saying, hey, need more fuel, right? So when you make this stiffer, right, it basically is saying, hey, it's not giving me fuel till, you know, or more fuel till 30 psi or whatever. But if you have it turned back all the way back towards the back half, well, so it sits in the engine bay like this, right? If you have the star screw turned all the way back towards the front of the engine, you have no pressure tension, so 2 psi boost in your max and your fuel out, right? That's what a lot of people do to get the rolling coal effect, is they turn that or make it looser, so that way this hat takes less pressure to roll coal. And then you can give it more pressure, right? Which means, hey, don't really quite need that much fuel, but you know, we're gonna need some here in a little bit as this is going in, taking more and more pressure. So instead of, you know, when you loosen it up, it taking 10 psi to be like this at full fuel, it's taking 20 psi to come in. So that's what the star screw, or that star wheel in here, initially affects right here. It is what determines when you start giving fuel more with boost. So we're gonna clean these up. I'm gonna actually run to the store and I'm gonna grab some screws to replace these no tamp screws. And I am actually going to, while I'm there, see about potentially putting a new line in. I'm gonna check that one out and see if that one's all good, make sure there's no cracks and stuff in it. And then I'm gonna put it back together and put it in the truck, and I'm gonna reset everything so we can tune it and change it up a little bit. Alrighty, y'all, so we got it all apart and whatnot, right? And we noticed that they had already done the 2mm cutoff on the AFC arm and the 5/16 washer on the back, so we really don't have anything to worry about there per se. We're just going to reset everything and reset the smoke screw and the star wheel, and we're just basically going to play with it. But first things first, I'm going to run to the store. So I'm going to replace the non-tamper screw. I'm actually just going to replace all of them with an actual hex instead of the flathead, including the no tamper screw. We're going to go ahead and replace that. So I'm going to run to the store. We're going to take the wife's Camaro to Home Depot and try to get some screws to replace those with. And also we're going to pick up like some degreaser and whatnot. I do have the fuel plate already out of here. As you can see right here, there is no longer a fuel plate in there. So hopefully with resetting everything and doing some tuning work, we can make this truck a little bit more peppy and a little bit more efficient, just because, like I said, it is so bad with the rolling coal. I barely touched the pedal and it's just black smoke coming out the tailpipe. Granted, I do have to build 60 psi boost in this truck, or roughly that's like 58 psi boost to be at full boost, but I should not have that much fuel coming through. Now, after seeing this, I'm kind of curious to see if these injectors are even stock injectors. because the more and more I've been tearing the truck, some shit has been done, but then other stuff hasn't. So I'm really figuring out a lot with the previous owner in this truck, but like I said, there's like been some weird things that have been done that are like good, and then there's a lot of bad, and then there's a lot of like halfway done, like half-assed. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and run to the store. All right, what is going on, y'all? We just got back from the parts store. If y'all wanted to know what size, like you're doing this yourself, and you wanted to know what size bolts to replace the other ones with, they are an M6-1 inch, which will fit perfectly to the same length, and they are the same thread, so you don't have to do anything about that. Again, they are a M6 1 inch times 16, and that is the screw you'll be using, or the new bolt you'll be using. I grabbed hex cap bolts for it, so now I can just use a socket to get them on and off. But we're gonna put this back together, we're gonna put it back in the truck, and then we're gonna see how it goes. Alright, so we got to put back together. Alright, we're going to put it back in, then we're going to take this screw off to get to the star screw to adjust it, and then the smoke screw is going to be kind of hard to get to. I put it back where it was, but I will be adjusting it. It's just kind of in a irritating way, but you can still get to it. So we're going to put this back on, and then we'll start playing with the adjustment on it.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, no, this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you.
Alright, what is going on, y'all? So we got it all back together. Alright. My boy Seth came over, we took it for a test drive and adjusted it. So right here is the Allen key that you need to take off the cover for the star wheel, and then down is going to compress the spring and up is going to decompress spring. So the spring will move this way, and then if you go down it'll go that way, right, which it'll delay your fuel pressure with boost when you compress the spring a little bit more. So I have it at about 30 psi opens up of pressure for full fuel, And if you go this way, so if you go towards the front of the motor, you'll get more smoke. Basically, if you go towards the back of the motor, you'll get less smoke. And then you have your smoke screw here in the back. You'll need a 10mm and an Allen key. You loosen the 10mm, and then you turn the Allen key to where you want it. Down or out is going to be basically less smoke at idle or when you're pre-boost, and then in is going to be more smoke pre-boost. If you go out too far, it might start hard, but if you push it in, you'll have a nice easy start still, and you can keep it at a happy medium. I would say don't go more than half in unless you're running twins or compounds or tri-turbo. I wouldn't go in a whole lot more, but if you want to go out a little bit, which I pulled mine out, was about 3/4 to halfway in. I pulled mine out to about 1/4 of the way out, and I have a lot less smoke coming out the tailpipe, and it's actually running a whole lot happier and picking up speed a whole lot more. So that is that part done. We are now going to be moving on to the AC and the evap and the heater core. But if you wanted to know how to adjust your star wheel, that is how you do it. And that'll conclude this video. Y'all have a good day. Don't have too much fun. Make sure to like and subscribe down below, and go to the link right here for merch.